It gets me every time. As a kid, that sequence blew my mind, and even today, it sets up an incredible gaming experience. Back in the 80s, anime was exploding in popularity in Japan. These shows had great plots, cute girls, and tons of action, so the conversion of an anime show into a video game seemed inevitable. One of the earliest conversions was Zillion, which aired from April 1987 to December 1987 in Japan. Sega would develop and release an adaptation of Zillion for the Sega Master System on December 31st, 1987 in North America. While the North American audience had no idea what Zillion the show was, the video game would find critical success and become one of the most unique games on the system. Welcome to my Zillion review. I'm TigerChainsaw, and I am glad you are here to watch this. Zillion was and is an incredible game that helped define the Master System as an underrated gem. And today I am excited to show love to one of my favorite games of all time. Now, if this is your first time on my channel, or if you just haven't yet, make sure you hit that sub button because I have plenty of Master System content on my channel, and I also have tons of game reviews that I've already done. So hit that sub button to make sure that you don't miss any of that stuff. Today, we are going to feel the power of the Zillion. An underground maze awaits us ahead. Our squad has been captured, and it's up to us to solve the computer codes and rescue them, along with taking down the Norsa Empire. Let's start with the plot of Zillion, but be warned, spoilers are ahead. Growing up, I loved the game Zillion, but it wasn't until almost 30 years later that I realized and discovered that the game was based off of an anime. And so when I was doing one of my playthroughs of Zillion, I researched it a little bit more and discovered that it was indeed based off of an anime. And so I was curious on it, and I picked up the Blu-ray version of Zillion. It's short, there's only 31 episodes, but it really added to the characters that I was playing on the screen as. I learned their personalities, I learned their traits, I learned their rivalries, and it was just a treat to learn more about the characters in the game of Zillion that was based off the anime. Now, this anime isn't crucial to you understanding the game, it's quite simple, but it was just a little treat to me. And so, going off of that, here is the plot of the game. Our main character is JJ. His mission is to infiltrate the Norsa Empire underground laboratory, collect 5 floppy disks that contain top secret plans, and rescue 2 other members of the team, and finally destroy the main computer in the base. He's a bit of a goof-off, but he has a big heart and always seems to pull through when he's needed in the anime show. JJ is part of an organization called the White Knights and has 3 other members on the mission with him. Amy will stay on the ship and heal you if you approach her. Her role is to keep the ship running and report back to the White Knights headquarters. Apple is a female White Knight, and I say that boldly because the manual says she is a he, and it's clearly a mistake. In the anime, Apple is a female, and her figure confirms this in the game as well as her face. Apple has been captured, and you need to rescue her. In the anime, Apple is a strong female character who is an excellent shot and is a top-tier soldier. She's no pushover and is capable of difficult missions. Now there's another member of your team who has been imprisoned in the base. His name is Champ, and he's a bit of a dick. He's the squad mate that is great at everything except checking his ego. He doesn't need to try hard as he is naturally gifted with his talent, but his no-nonsense demeanor and distaste for JJ causes them to butt heads often. As the White Knights, it's your mission to protect the human race against the evil Norse Empire. This empire wants to go across the galaxy, wiping out every population on each planet. The humans don't have much protection against the Norse Empire, except for your gun that is feared by all. It's called the Zillion, and this laser gun is very powerful. There's only 3 of them in the universe, and they're impossible to analyze or replicate. These 3 guns only work for JJ, Champ, and Apple, as they've been chosen to wield them. The Zillion is also an icon of the game as it appears on the menu, and I know it was made into a toy in Japan. The gun of Zillion is inspired by the Sega Master System light phaser. Now, many gamers wondered what came first, who was inspired by who, but as the anime came out in 1987, as did the game, the Sega Master System was already out in North America by 1986, and many gamers did have access already to the light phaser of the Master System. So, for me, the answer is clear. Zillion was inspired by the light phaser. With the Zillion laser, JJ rescues Apple and then Champ, and the 3 of them make their way throughout the base collecting 5 floppy disks. Once you've collected the floppy disks, you'll need to start the self-destruct sequence of the Norse Empire base. You'll have 300 seconds to escape the base once the code is set. Once you start the sequence, you'll exit the computer room and you'll be greeted by a mecha lizard that shoots blue fire. It scared me honestly during my Zillion playthrough because I was not expecting it at all. It's the only boss of the game and there wasn't anything like this in the anime. After your team takes down the mecha lizard, you make your way back up to the ground and escape on the ship with your team. You receive a small message about how you destroyed the base and how you've completed the mission. Now, the main villain of the Norse Empire is one of the weirdest enemies. In the anime, the one pulling all the strings is Empress Admiss, but JJ and the gang regularly fight her top commander, Baron Rix. In the game, you never fight him or see him, except for when you die or beat the game. He just says a few words and that's it. I have never been hit so hard by a video game as a child with the intense intro of a man pointing a laser gun at me and then firing it. What follows is a powerful soundtrack accompanied by your mission briefing. This type of pre-game presentation was not seen in games in 1987, and that's why I kept returning to it as a kid to see these visuals and to hear the music. Now, it's impossible to discuss the gameplay of Zillion without acknowledging the massive influence that the game Impossible Mission had on the gameplay. While the anime was the source of the plot, Impossible Mission came out in 1984 on the Commodore 64, and it mirrors the gameplay of Zillion. Impossible Mission would later be ported to the Master System in 1990, but that was 3 years after Zillion. To most gamers, their first time experiencing this type of gameplay was Zillion on the Master System, even though Impossible Mission did it 3 years earlier on a different platform. You may not know anything about the anime, but you don't need to in order to experience the exceptional gameplay and design of Zillion. Almost all of the game will take place underground in a labyrinth base of the Norse Empire. There's only one humanoid enemy, but they occupy almost every screen. You'll fight these soldiers who attack with their huge laser guns. Most of them will shoot at chest level, but you can duck or jump over those. Later on, advanced soldiers can crouch down and shoot at you when you're crawling, but one blast from your laser gun should do the trick and explode them into 100 pieces. The object of Zillion is to make your way through the base, rescue both Apple and Champ, collect 5 floppy disks, and input the self-destruct sequence to blow up the base, all while escaping before the base explodes. That is no small feat. In this huge base will be small hallways and elevators, but the majority of the base will be single-screen rooms that have numerous obstacles in them. You'll face soldiers, electric fields, motorized floors, trap lasers that set off alarms, and laser turrets that move around the room. Throughout each room, you'll need to shoot lockers. These lockers will have power-ups to level up your gun, health, jumping ability, as well as have ID cards. Why do you need an ID card? Well, there's a computer in each room and you'll need an ID card to input the commands. In the lockers will be symbols and you'll need to memorize the symbols that are in the lockers and input them into the computer to unlock the next door or elevator. You'll encounter close to 50 different rooms and each one is unique and filled with various dangers that increase the deeper you go into the base. You'll know that you're getting deeper into the base by the color of the walls. Light blue is top level, red is middle of the base, and dark blue is deep within the base. Expect to be challenged the deeper you go. If you want to play the old school way, you'll need to sketch a map as you go because you will get lost in the maze. It's also necessary to escape the base when you set the main computer to self-destruct, so having a map makes it much easier to escape. If you don't escape, you'll die. To go deeper into the base, there are rooms that you may be able to access, but won't be able to pass unless you have properly leveled up your gun or jumping ability. The characters you rescue will have different properties. JJ is the most balanced overall, but Apple can jump high and runs the quickest. Champ is slow, but has the most health and starts off with a powerful gun. Once you rescue the other characters, you can switch between them to figure out each room. Now back to the computer commands. Remember, this was made in 1987. Sega had an incredible vision and created a video game where you could use computers to advance. It's brilliant, but not just because you can type in a few commands to pass on to the next room. You can program the computers to stop the turrets, the lasers, and the electric fields. You can even bring up a map, warp back to the elevator, and you can even commit suicide. One thing that felt out of place in Zillion was the boss sequence once you input the code. You fight a giant mecha lizard, which can be a mild challenge. This would have been a great entry into fighting against Baron Rix, who is the main villain in the anime and antagonizes you each time you die in the game. I was a little bit disappointed that he wasn't really involved in this game, despite being shown on screen. While there is a wonderful pre-game presentation, there isn't too much in terms of ending presentation. You'll get a mission complete message and you'll see the faces of your squad along with their body stats. It would have been cool to see the ship blasting off into space or a celebration photo of the White Knights together. Some critics will say that Zillion has very repetitive gameplay. Enter a room, solve the puzzle, advance. Some might think that that's a little bit boring, but to break up any boredom is the incredible soundtrack. It's extremely well done and feels futuristic to go along with the theme of the game. The sound effects are superb too, with the sounds of the computer beeps, you jumping, and the savageness of the enemies exploding. The Master System has many games that feature incredible soundtracks, but Zillion is near the top in terms of overall tone. Zillion is special to me because the first game console I ever had was the Sega Master System. For some reason, my dad had a copy of Zillion. It was so far advanced for a kid to play, and it's difficult now as an adult to beat. I loved the sounds and the music that played during the game, but I never came close to ever beating the game as a kid. I remember one time I rescued Apple, and I thought I was the next savior of video games. Looking back at it now, I'm still impressed that I managed to do that when I was 6 or 7. It's surreal to beat the game now and complete my Zillion review over 25 years later. Zillion presents a unique video game based on an anime that few have ever seen. The Sega Master System has very few mega hits on it, but numerous under-the-radar games. Zillion would be at the top of that list. It's futuristic, difficult, and requires a combination of skill and memorization. It's a treat for anyone who enjoys a challenge. I highly recommend it if you have the patience to map the labyrinth. Nice job, Sega. I'm giving Zillion a 9.3 out of 10, making this a masterpiece. This is one of the best games on the Master System, so if you do own that console, get this game into your collection and experience the power of the Zillion for yourself. So that was my review of Zillion that was released on the Master System in 1987. If you guys played Zillion, what are your thoughts on this game? If you haven't played it, do you want to play it now? Does it look any good to you? Leave me a comment below, and while you're there, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel to watch plenty of Master System content and other game reviews. In fact, I just released one about Submarine Attack not too long ago, so check that out after this video. But I want to get back to Zillion. Zillion is so special to me, and I would love to hear from other Zillion fans because it's almost a cult following, because if you've played the game, you know how good it is. You love the soundtrack, you love the presentation, and the gameplay is a lot of fun. So I'm hoping to connect with other Zillion fans, so if you know of any, share this video. In the meantime, happy gaming, thanks for watching, and make sure you play a video game today.